pointing a gun at my chest, telling me I'm a criminal and that I'm going to get effing shot, that's not appropriate.
The reason that I ask you, among other things, is because I suspect you can see all the lines are lit and people want to offer comments. And I think that some purists, some Second Amendment purists will have a problem with the notion that by exercising open carry, that A, they would be stopped, and B, that they would be stopped by law enforcement actually drawing a firearm, even if it's not pointed at them.
The issue, and there is a certain amount of officer safety that comes into it. The issue is the way the law is written. There is a requirement. Therefore, we can lobby to get that changed. We can lobby to remove the city of the first class stipulation out of Title 18, the Firearms Act. But until then, this is the way the law is written.
All right. I'm the lawyer. You're more knowledgeable about the gun laws of Pennsylvania. School me. And school everybody who's listening right now. Give me the Cliff's Note version.
The Cliff's Note version is this. If you do not have a license to carry firearms, you're not a convicted felon, you have not been involuntarily committed to a mental institution, there's a few other small stipulations that we can get into. As long as you're not a prohibited person by law, and you're over the age of 18 and you legally own a firearm, you can carry it openly anywhere in the state of Pennsylvania, period. There are exceptions to that. Philadelphia is one of those exceptions, and that's the crux of this issue. You need to have a license to carry firearms issued by the state of Pennsylvania, any of the counties within, or a reciprocal state. Some states are Florida, Utah, et cetera, et cetera.
26 of them,
there's quite a few. If you have that license, you can then carry openly or concealed in the city of Philadelphia, or you can carry concealed anywhere else. Open carry in and of itself is actually not legislated according to the law. It's only the practice of concealing that firearm or carrying it in a vehicle.
Okay, and the chief acknowledged that. I mean, the chief acknowledged that you have a right to carry so long as you have the license. Obviously, when law enforcement sees you walking down the street, you or someone else, they don't know that you possess that license. You're telling me it's your habit to always have it on your person.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I keep it in my chest pocket for that purpose.
Can we, ladies and gentlemen who are on hold, can we quickly go to your calls? Because if everybody gets their head together, the more we'll get to speak. Marianne, you are first for my guest, Mark Fiorino. Go ahead.
Mark, I have one question for you. You obviously know the area. You were visiting your mother. Why would you carry open in an area that is the entrance to the I-95 Academy Road, where cars sit at 4 and 5 deep at that intersection waiting for lights, and across the street and a little bit away, like a half block away from an elementary school?
Go ahead, Mark.
2 points. Number one, I carry this way everywhere. It doesn't matter where I am, unless I'm at work. I do not carry while I'm on the clock. But when I'm out on my personal time, I carry everywhere all the time, openly, period. Number two, being in a dangerous area to me is not justification to not carry a firearm. Being in a potentially dangerous area is even more justification for me to carry a firearm on me for defense.
I don't understand why, when you're on the clock, are you not carrying? Are you in someone else's employ?
Yes.
Okay, so you're not an independent. You work for somebody, and
I work for someone, and my boss says that he doesn't want me carrying into clients, and that makes perfect sense to me. So, I'm happy to abide by that.
Understood. All right, this is John for Mark Fiorino. Go ahead, John.
Mr. Fiorino, I want to ask you why, in a potentially dangerous area, you would want to suck up valuable police resources with wasting their time on having to question you and ask why in the world you're carrying openly.
John, Mark, how about that idea that now that I've heard Chief Ramsey, and thank you, John, for the call, that he says, look, yeah, we are going to stop people and we're going to have these encounters. That will be a drain of resources, assuming there are others like you who exercise your rights.
Everything that people do, to one degree or another, is legislated, is going to be a use of police time if the police determine that there's a reason for them to investigate. This is a kind of issue where, if it's done properly, if the police officers understand and have knowledge of the law, it takes 5 minutes, not even that. Excuse me, can I see your license? Yes, sir, here it is. Okay, I verified it. Have a nice day. And that's it. That's not a waste to me.
If I'm wearing a pink shirt, I more easily take note of people who are wearing pink shirts. right?
Exactly.
I don't take note of people openly carrying firearms, and it occurs to me...
You and 98% of the rest of the population, believe me, Michael, almost no one notices
see,
that I carry
Mark,
openly.
here's the thing, because I said when your story broke Monday or Tuesday, I said, I've been here my whole life. I am hard-pressed to remember a single circumstance where I've seen someone in an open carry posture. People called me and they said, you're nuts. We see them all the time. So my question for you, how often, on the pink shirt theory, how often do you take note of someone else in open carry?
As someone who takes the responsibility, my individual responsibility of self-defense very seriously, something that I am very in tune with is my situational awareness, knowing what's going on around me at all times.
So what's the answer?
The answer is anytime that there's someone near me that's openly carrying, I notice them.
Is that a day-to-day, a week-to-week, a month-to-month?
It doesn't happen all that often while I'm in out and about, because the majority of my time spent out is while I'm working. And like I said, I'm not carrying or in an environment where it'd be conducive to do so. But when I'm out, I have bumped into people at Walmart, walking down the street, at the diner, that are openly carrying a firearm. And I usually stop and say, hey, what's up?
This is Wayne. Wayne, thank you for the telephone call. Go ahead for Mark Fiorino.
Yeah, it's my question is mainly for you, Mike, and the other officers that have called. I've spent 15 years supporting airborne law enforcement, and the one thing that bothered me is the Sergeant Tone was provoking, and he failed to identify himself as a law enforcement officer. So how is Mark supposed to react when he has somebody making provocative statements behind him?
Look, I think that the chief, when he was when I interviewed him, acknowledged the inappropriate behavior on the part of law enforcement. I thought he made that clear. In fact, he flat out said that the F word was used too liberally. The junior reference was not right. What I found alarming about the audio, and I think this makes your point, is that there was a lot of tension associated with it. I said to Mark Fiorino on Monday when we first spoke, I think I said to you, Mark, part of me says you're lucky you didn't get shot. That it seemed like a dangerous encounter.
I would certainly agree with that, because here you have a gentleman who's engaging someone they don't know, who they know is armed, who isn't presenting a visible threat aside from simply carrying a firearm, and calling him by a condescending name, then pointing a gun at him. And to me, that just creates an unnecessary level of tension and escalation that I really, during the encounter, if you listen to the audio, was trying to de-escalate and bring down.
This is Joe for Mark Fiorino. Hey, Joseph, go ahead. Hi, Joe. Joe gave up. This is Sal. Welcome, Sal. Go ahead.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Okay, listen, I've been listening over the past few days, and Michael and Mark, what concerns me is that if you have a constitutional right to carry exposed, why should you have to be stopped repeatedly to justify that right?
Well, one of the issues that actually has come up in discussion between myself and some other folks in here in the firearms community is that, you could be stopped on every other corner. You get stopped by one officer, he says, can I see your license? You say yes, that's 5 minutes. You walk 2 blocks, and another officer who wasn't privy to that conversation says, hey, you're open carrying, let me see your license. Well, now we got 10 minutes, and that can continue on your entire trip throughout your day and accumulate and become a problem.
I think, too, Michael, the way the officer approached Mark, and by using the term junior, sort of leads me to believe that he didn't believe the situation was an immediate violent instance. I don't believe anyone called in, corrected, that it reported Mark or said there was any type of disturbance. Is that correct?
You have to keep in mind that I was literally out of my mother's home for 2.5 minutes before this began. There was no interaction with any other people. Charles Ramsey actually mentioned I might have been recording other citizens. There was no one. I literally was by myself.
Hey, but you know what? The chief raises a really good point. Because the only person you maintain that the only person whose voice you picked up were members of law enforcement, right?
Correct, myself and
okay. What if someone walked up and engaged? A guy comes up to you and he says, "Pardon me, sir, but I need directions to get to, who knows, Franklin Mills." What would you have done?
Well, first of all, that wouldn't have been an issue at all, down the road. That's the kind of thing that would have been deleted later on anyway. Secondly, we're still talking about being in public.
But you'd have recorded him.
By virtue of me having the recorder on at all times, yes. But we're still in public. There's still no expectation of privacy, especially since he's talking to someone, a member of the public, that out on the street.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Honestly, I'm not sure how the case law works in that respect. I'm really just certain that police officers have no expectation.
My instinct initially was that there would be no expectation of privacy on the part of police or public if you're out and about video recording the world in which we live.
Right.
It turns out that was a correct assumption, but that there's actually case law, and we discussed this already. Law enforcement has no expectation of privacy in a circumstance like yours. Whether a member of the public might, I'm not so sure. It's a good question. Allow me a quick timeout. We'll come back with Mark Fiorino. Hey, I want to mention something before Greg hits that button. This gentleman across from me in studio, kneecap to kneecap, is the man of the hour in Philadelphia this week. Tomorrow, the man of the hour for the nation will be my guest, Mitch Daniels, the governor of Indiana, the person whom a lot of Republicans are hoping is getting into this thing. I will be in Indy tomorrow, and Mitch Daniels will be on this program. I'm Michael Smerconish. Hey, Michael Smythe has got the best combination of luxury automobiles in Philadelphia, Jaguar and Land Rover. Man, they create the perfect automotive family. When you have the Range Rover and the Jaguar XJ in your driveway, you truly have the ultimate luxury car driving experience. The Range Rover is without question the most luxurious sport utility in the world. The Jaguar XJ, the best kept secret in the luxury car market. I'll tell you what I want you to do, especially when we get rid of this rain by the time the weekend comes around. Take my advice and go test drive the XJ, particularly if right now your hands are clutching a 7 Series or an S-Class, because this is what you want to be driving. And Michael Smythe, he is within earshot. He's got 2 dealerships, Mainline Jaguar and Land Rover, and the Great Britain's in Willow Grove. All those accolades, all my braggadocio about this automobile, they're well-deserved. Find out for yourself by emailing Michael Smythe. His address is jaguar@jaguarmike.com, jaguar@jaguarmike.com.
Buy a suit. Get a second.
Is the stress of caring for a loved one catching up with you? Here is an important number for you to remember. 877-222-9297. Today you need to make an important decision for your parents and yourself. You need to hire a caregiver to take care of them in their home. Home is where the heart is. That's why Always There in-home healthcare is the ideal solution for elderly or disabled individuals who want to maintain their independence with dignity by continuing to live in the comfort of their own home. From 4 hours a day to 24-hour live-in service, Always There in-home healthcare can provide relief for you and your family members at home, in an assisted living community, or even a nursing home. Always There is a family-owned and operated business. Let our family take care of your family. For more information, please call us at 877-222-9297. That's 877-222-9297. Or go to alwaystherehealthcare.com.
Room service is expensive, but you don't feel like leaving your hotel room to eat. Did you know that you can make a meal using basic hotel room appliances? I'm Meredith Arthur from Chow.com. Now, first off, this is for informational purposes only. Got that? Okay, good. Let's start with breakfast, where you'll turn your iron into a griddle using a piece of foil, create a boat shape with sealed off edges, and heat on the face of the iron. You'll have to prop the iron up upside down using towels and shoes. Once the iron has heated the foil, butter the inside, crack an egg into it, and fry it. For dinner, cook ravioli in the boiling water of your tea kettle and warm sauce in the coffee carafe. Or run the coffee maker with instant rice in the basket instead of grounds, and then steam broccoli the same way. And don't forget to garnish. Shave Parmesan or truffle on top with your disposable razor. Just make sure it's a fresh one. I'm Meredith Arthur for the Chow Minute. For more easy recipes, visit chow.com.
A special Capital Gold Group alert from precious metals expert and registered financial consultant, Jonathan Rose.
It's important to understand that the type of gold and silver you purchase will dictate the profits that you will make. I'll let you in on a little secret, a guide that other precious metal firms do not want you to see. It's the 2011 official insider's guide to owning gold and silver. The first 20 callers will get this guide for free. This complete buyer's guide shows you how to purchase precious metals at the lowest possible prices. choices. Which coins and bars will give you a better return in the future? And if you have a 401k or an IRA, it will show you how to roll that over into an IRA backed by solid gold and silver.
Be one of the first 20 callers and get the official Insider's Guide to Owning Gold and Silver. An $80 value, free shipping included. It's what other precious metals firms do not want you to see. Call Capital Gold Group now. 800-510-9594. 800-510-9594. 800-510-9594.
Are you tired of glasses and contact lenses? Do you just wish you could wake up and see? Start your spring makeover with LASIK eye surgery at Nevius Eye Associates. For a limited time, the doctors at Nevius are offering 25% off LASIK. That's right, 25% off the normal cost. There's nothing stopping you now. Call today.